I think actually, to me, continence is probably the last taboo. So I hope that I'm quite an approachable GP, but I think it's the one subject that people have that rather stiff upper British lip about, and they don't talk about it. And it's the topic that is always mentioned when the hand is on the door handle, just leaving. Oh, and actually there is another thing, or a subject which if I asked directly, people will then say, well, actually yes, but it's not something that women generally feel that they're comfortable talking about, and that's a shame because it's such a common problem and one that's often so easily cured, and yet people suffer in silence for far too long. Pelvic floor problems are incredibly common. It's estimated that there are around 9.6 million women in the UK, that's 1 in 3 women in the UK suffering with incontinence. And do you know what? I can almost bet my home on the fact that that's a gross underestimate, because those are just the people that we know about. We know that around 45% of women who have children, for example, will have some degree of incontinence for a period of time. And it's incredibly easy to treat in the vast majority of cases with simple pelvic floor exercises. The problem is most women don't persevere for long enough or don't really know how to do them properly. The pelvic floor is actually a group of muscles, and they act as a kind of sling, and they hold all the pelvic organs in place. They guide the baby during childbirth, and they actually help us have a good healthy sex life. They control our bladder and our bowels, so when they stop working we run into trouble. I think sadly many women don't realise that their pelvic floor muscles are like any other muscle actually, and if you don't exercise them then they lose tone and they become weaker. Now if you add into that the fact that we might have children and we get older and all our muscles get a bit weaker as we get older, then if you're not exercising them, the problem is that you could start to become incontinent, and the problem can get steadily worse. The good news is that if you exercise them regularly you can prevent it in most cases.